everybody for making time to join. I don't have a presentation to share with you, but I think we all know who Pick n Pay is. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about myself quickly and where I fit into Pick n Pay. I'm Senior Procurement Manager on the corporate side. So I look after corporate services, but I also look after marketing. So everything to do with marketing, you know, the ads that you see on TV, the print that you see in the newspapers, basically Smart Shopper, everything around that, really from a procurement perspective comes via my desk. On the services side, we are a group or team of people that look after the different areas of services. So I look after the manned services, labor, everything to do with in-store servicing. I've got a group of colleagues who look after goods, not for resale. Anything that we don't resell in a store, we look after, and it comes past the area where I function in. Okay. So from an SMME perspective, be very clear that the goods for resale work completely different to the goods not for resale. Whereas when you do goods for resale, you go through a whole listing process, product validation process. You also go through a product and service validation process on our side, but it's completely different. So probably another session for the goods for resale in order to get into Pick n Pay, the buying frame of Pick n Pay. So part of the question that was posed to me was, how do you get into Pick n Pay? Now, I can first of all tell you, it's not easy for a small company to get into Pick n Pay. There are various barriers to entry. The first barrier to entry is scale. We do things at quite a big scale, as with all the retailers. Smaller companies typically struggle to get, from an economies of scale perspective, get to the same service levels, pricing, compared to the big boys, I always say. However, there are means and ways to get into Pick n Pay that goes past or allows you to transcend those barriers to entry. We have an enterprise development scheme. We look after small suppliers quite extensively. We've got a team who focuses on it, or focuses on small suppliers. So if there's a service or a good or product that we believe can add value to the business, can add value to the customer ultimately, we do assist in quite a few ways. And I will later on point you to our enterprise development website, how you can register, how you can become part of the Pick n Pay family as such. I think from my perspective, what I look for in a supplier or a service provider, number one, tenacity. Number two, understanding the industry where they operate in very well. Number three, not coming to us from a perspective of expecting things to be easy. I guess if it was easy to deal with Pick n Pay, everybody would be dealing with Pick n Pay. It is especially, like I said, especially difficult for the small suppliers. So if you really want to deal with Pick n Pay, I guess I can tell you, if there's a will, there's a way. And it is not just words that I'm mentioning to you, but it's really applicable to the type of environment that we operate in, where customer service, price, quality, service, and innovation really matters. So I'm going to have a very interactive session with you guys. So if there are any questions at this stage, you can really ask me. If there's any advice that you need, you can really ask me as well. One of the ticket items that was listed, tips on how to get into Pick n Pay. I would need you to ask more specific questions if you can, on your particular item that you may want to supply to Pick n Pay, whether it be a good or service. and I'm going to help you with some answers and direct you into the right direction. Okay. So interactive, please, if you have questions now, shoot.
So, Andre Maloya, Jason, just want to basically find out, you operate in a space whereby not really product for in-store, but more for services rendered to the Pick n Pay staff or to the Pick n Pay office staff. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, it's all services rendered in all our stores nationally.
All right, okay, but not product really, because as you discussed, that is a different sort of
Can I ask you,
basically.
Andre, what is the name of your company, and give me an idea of what product you specialize in?
The company is called Malloy's, the consumables company.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Malloy's, the consumables company, and we operate in the hygiene sphere for the last 8 years. So we are manufacturers, distributors, as well as suppliers of hygiene products, chemical products, basically papers and all related. And we touch on a little bit of medical products, you know. So we pretty much basically a one-stop shop when it comes to your janitorial, your cleaning, your hygiene at your stores. But also we have the ability to obviously supply also a finished product, as per se, for retail, you know. So that's what I wanted to understand.
Okay, so you touching on both sides of the business. I mean, goods
That's
not
correct,
for,
yeah.
So we look at cleaning, pest control, and hygiene. That service in store in our DCs as a manned service or service, basically something you consume as you receive it. Okay.
Yes.
Then you have the goods for resale, where you sanitizers, hygiene. What do you call so sanitizers, hygiene papers, and similar related products that we resell in our stores as well.
That's good.
On the goods not for resale or services not for resale, we would typically have a tender periodically. We'll have a tender on those services, and we do allow smaller service providers to compete during those tender processes. So if you are interested in that avenue, you are welcome to register online on our SMME database, and also to make direct contact with me, and I will then direct you to the right individual to allow you access, or at least to compete for Pick n Pay business.
I think that's a valid answer. Just one question further than that. There's the tender process, which basically where everybody competes. Obviously, I'm quite sure Pick n Pay will look favorably upon us as smaller businesses. One on top of that, and the most probably pushing, would there be ad hoc sort of like suppliers coming on board? Like for instance, let's say for instance, I have a product that you guys need in the cleaning sphere or in the hygiene sphere, and we are the only company that is able to provide at that point in time. So looking at an ad hoc sale, you know, an ad hoc supply, is that feasible, or is the process always across the spectrum in terms of we put it out for everybody and, you know, may the best man win, that type of thing?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think so. Look at the market dynamics on the product and the service that you supply. It is very competitive. You know, meaning there's a lot of service providers in that sphere. So for us to appoint a service provider or make use of a service provider which we haven't vetted properly, or we haven't taken through a fair process, wouldn't be deemed correct from a business practice perspective.
Sure.
So I think the first port of call, which I always tell service providers, is it's very difficult to get into any industry or any business for that matter, meaning it's very difficult to become a supplier. But I think once you've gone through the difficult process and you are in the supply base of a Pick n Pay, it's also very difficult for you to lose that, let's say, approval rating with Pick n Pay, because we invest a lot of time and effort in our smaller suppliers with guidance, with special payment terms, etc., etc.
Thank you. Thank you. So port of call basically get yourself onto that database. And once you're on the database, you can basically decide which route to basically take. But obviously, you're going to be dancing with the big boys specifically.
Correct.
All right. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Hi, Jason.
Yes, Neil.
Neil van der Kerk here from Brand Systems in Port Elizabeth. I'll keep my questions short from our side. I see two of our offerings that we will be interested to get into a group like Pick n Pay. First off, enterprise resource planning, ERP with SAP Business One, and the second solution is your typical bit of the warehouse solution side, product tracking with RFID, barcoding, and even near field communications. Where do I go? Thank you.
Okay, Neil. So that's a field which is becoming and which we are looking at very closely for the last, let's say, 6 to 12 months. Now, as you know, our asset base is quite extensive. Our asset base, i.e. our trolleys, we've got significant amounts of money invested in trolleys. It's a movable asset. It's an asset which we find very difficult to control. Also, our in-store equipment, movable assets, very difficult to control from a location perspective. So tagging, RFID, I mean, that's something that we are looking at quite closely, quite extensively. Where do you go with that type of technology? Where do you go with that type of sort of product? You basically come through my office. We have a procurement manager specifically looking at that. There are no tenders planned on that type of item at the moment. It's really looking at who can offer the best solution. And we're basically putting a business case together at the moment to actually try and roll it out. But when I say business case, we first try to see if it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's a big capital investment from our side, and it's also an ongoing investment from a maintenance perspective.
Absolutely.
What we're trying to ascertain at the moment is what is our return on investment as a business for such an investment. Also, once we've made the investment, where does the accountability lie for ensuring continuous return on investment on that asset purchase? So please make contact with me if you can, and I'll direct you. You will also have to go through the registration process as explained to Andre as well.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate the time.
Got a question from Nosipo. Is it Nosipo? Got quite a few questions. Okay, I will go through the questions, but if anybody wants to ask me the question directly.
The system, just in facilitating those questions for you, Jason. The first one is from Mapitso. She said, for someone who does air conditioning and refrigeration, what is the process?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a very good Mapitso, is it?
Yes, Mapitso.
It's a very subject within our business for quite a few reasons. The first reason is historically, we were decentralized. Okay, so what that means is that every region which we operate had carte blanche in the way they manage their spend, in the way they also manage their suppliers. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we tried to centralize as a business, so bringing everything and decision making and market intelligence basically resides with a centralized procurement. So again, we are still trying to understand what is the best option for us in that field. We're constantly looking at the supply base. We're constantly looking at technology. We're also constantly looking at how, when I say how, let's say our expenditure pattern. So to answer your question directly, you also need to come through my office. We have a procurement manager specifically assigned to this category because it's so important. But also from a registration perspective, you also need to go through the Pick and Pay registration process, which I'll link it to all of you. It's basically on our website. If you go onto the Pick and Pay Enterprise Development website, there is a section there, small supplier portal, in which you can register. But you can make contact with me directly, and I can also then point you to the correct procurement manager. Okay.
Fantastic, thank you. I see Nosipo has also asked a question. Hi Jason, we are SSRE Energy Renewable. We supply PPE products. So my question is, how do we register on your database to supply you with masks and sanitizers?
Okay, so I think, that category, okay. Now we all know why masks and sanitizers is a very sensitive issue or product. At the moment, we're finding it's a very, very competitive supply-based market, if I can put it like that. We are, in fact, there's an oversupply. Okay, to be very honest with you, there is an oversupply. We have secured in March. We've secured quite a significant amount of masks, quite a significant amount of sanitizer. We don't know where things are going in the next 6 to 12 months. If I were you, I would make my presence known, meaning let Pick and Pay know that you are a supplier. I suspect that we will go out on tender. Take into account that the purchasing we have done in the last couple of months was basically a reactive purchase based on the COVID situation. So I would register as a small supplier, and I would make contact with me as well, and I will point you to the right purchasing manager or procurement manager who deals with the category. But I can give you feedback now. We are oversupplied, so the demand for product is still there, but the category is very congested at the moment.
Fantastic, thank you. Next question I can give you is from Etienne Hansby. Hi Jason, who is the best person to speak to regarding procurement technology?
Is Etienne is he still? Yeah.
I think he is. Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon. It's Etienne. Hi, Jason. Hi, Jody.
Etienne, thanks for the question. What type of technology specifically are you referring to?
Okay, so we supply procurement technology. Well, we do procurement consulting, but the part that I focus on is the technology part. So that would be your source-to-pay solutions. We also do beneficiary management systems, which I don't think really is applicable to you. Master data management, and also source-to-pay solutions. Yeah, I said that already. So that's basically what we focus on. So the business has two arms. There's a consulting arm, and then there's an IT arm, which I look after. So
okay, what is the name of your company?
TKJ, Tango Kilo Juliet, Procurement Consulting and Training.
Okay. Let me tell you, we've had quite a few approaches over the last, I'd say 2 years, okay? From supply chain network to Fraction to Oracle to quite a few other companies, trying to get us to a point as a procurement organization to embrace technology. Now, if you can understand in the environment where Pick n Pay operates, in the past it was a buying environment. So best price, that's it, and you don't need a lot of sort of compliance from that perspective. We are progressing. We're making a lot of progress in our procurement journey. So we were transactional and operational. We're trying to become strategic, which is where your product fits in. And ultimately, we want to get to category management. And then ultimately, we want to end up with a collaborative approach with our service providers. I would suggest that also you make direct contact with me. We are entertaining at the moment quite a few service providers to come and present to us what the options are and what they offer, but also from a total cost of ownership, we really want to see the results of that. So make contact with me. I will allow you to let's say come and present to us with no commitment.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jody.
Hi, Jason. Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
That's Nyasha.
You're speaking to Mbuzeni from Hayani Waste. We are a waste management company. My question is, does your store use the local municipality for waste collection, or do you go out on tender for such a service?
Ah, okay. Yeah. I'm going to give you a percentage now. So we do about 80% of our stores are tender-based allocation. And 15% is municipality and landlord. And about 5% we still trying to figure out, okay, who's actually doing the collection. So, so 80% we've got about 300 corporate stores. 80% of that we do go out on tender. It's quite a sensitive category for us because our chairman had his goal is to get Pick n Pay to a zero land to waste waste to landfill, probably in the next 2 to 3 years. Which is when he mentioned that to the shareholders, we almost fell out of our chair because we don't really know yet how we're going to achieve it. But quite a sensitive category. We do go out on tender. Please make contact with me and I'll explain to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Just a moment, just to ask everybody who is not speaking, just to mute your microphone. It just makes for a more pleasant experience for everybody. Thank you. Jason, I know we're supposed to be wrapping up now, but we do have time before the next session. Have you got time to continue taking questions?
Yes, we were scheduled to end at 3:15.
Oh, that works for us. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question I've got here is from Dumasani and Lovu. He says he is from an experiential marketing company. Is it something that is in line with your needs, and how does one get through to your team to present? That's an experiential marketing company. I presume that's about activations and things like that within your stores.
So Dumasani, is he on call? Is he?
It looks as though he's still here. Yeah, Dumasani, would you like to speak up?
Hi, yes, I am still on call.
Yeah. All right. Listen, thanks for your question. It takes me back a few years.
Yes.
When I used to work for another company, and experiential marketing was quite a big thing. how do you see experiential marketing in the pick and pay realm of what you know?
I think currently there's one of the guys on my team was investigating, so I don't have the actual answer. I got on the webinar on his behalf. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a bit more information for him because he's on another call right now.
Okay, so experiential marketing is undertaken mostly by our principals. So, you know, the INJs and the Nestle's of the world, they undertake most of the experiential marketing because, I mean, it's their products in the store, and that's ultimately, you know, what it's about, selling their products. We undertake a lot of research via the internet, via our Smart Shopper customer base. We've got an enormous amount of information of our customers from that perspective. So as far as I understand, very limited. We do now and then use a Nielsen, but not, I mean, it's not one of our big item spends or spend items. So again, I'm happy to have a discussion with you. So because it's my category. So yeah, please make contact.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Jason. We'll do so.
Thank you. And then we've got a question from Jabulani from Inqua Investment. And he says he's a small emerging youth-owned transportation entity. They own a fleet of trucks and would like to find out if there's any opportunity within Pick and Pay for transportation.
Jabulani.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very difficult industry, transport. Number one, I think fuel has taken us by surprise over the last couple of years. It's gone up significantly. Customers typically just want to pay less and less and less. So you had an imbalance between demand and supply when it comes to transport. What I would like to know from Jabulani is what type of trucks he has, what type of experience he has. We only use closed trucks. We also, you know, you have to be HACCP approved. So there's quite a few requirements for doing business with Pick and Pay. I would first of all try and register, but also just drop me an email. Let me just have a look at your profile and just see if there's anything we can do. Logistics is in a separate business to the Pick and Pay business. But let me see if I can put you in contact with the right people.
Okay, great. Just a note on that. This is why it is so important for SMMEs to complete their profiles on the SmartXchange platform in full, so that when buyers who we are linking up with you go through those profiles, they can see what your business is about from start to finish. So please make sure those profiles are as detailed as possible. Our next question is from Makadi. Good day, Jason. We are safety, health, and environmental management service providers. How does one get through to your team for presentations?
So Mukhari, please tell me what do you do? Do you provide audit services? Do you provide products? What do you specifically do?
Mukhari, are you in the room at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic.
Okay. Good day, Jason. So we provide audits. We also do your compliance audits to ensure that you're complying to the legal environmental laws and the occupational health and safety. We also do certification in terms of ISO.
Okay. Do you do inspections of fire standards? You know, do you do those type of certifications?
Yes, we also do that.
Okay. Do you do verification as well of fire equipment?
Verification of compliance.
Of fire equipment. So
yes, we do. Your fire equipment, your sprinklers, your whole fire system. We do verification for it.
Okay, that's great. So make contact with me. This might come up as an opportunity in the next couple of months. When I say opportunity,
Okay.
we have a problem at the moment in trying to get our stores fully compliant all the time. So okay, yeah, make contact with me. I can put you in the right direction as well.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Mokhari. That sounds like a great opportunity, possibly in the pipeline there. So good luck. I've also got Tebogo Malaka asking about diaries and stationery. How do we supply Pick and Pay stores?
Okay, is this for sale in our stores? Is this for resale?
Tebogo, it sounds like it because he's a manufacturer. He says he manufactures diaries and stationery.
I will have to send you the details of the buyer who looks after paper products, who buys those type of items. So send me an email if you can, and then I can basically give you the details of the buyer. You can have a direct conversation with the buyer.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Right, then we've got, oh gosh, someone just posted a very long question. Let me just scroll up a bit, bear with me.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Oh, got someone there?
Yeah. It's Jeffrey from Sakiva. We do infrastructure and equipment services. We specialize in having to protect the equipment or the infrastructure, extension of infrastructure, and also saving costs for our clients. So some of the areas that we specialize in will be fireproofing of the infrastructure and equipment, corrosion protection, including HVAC, your chillers or rooftops, and also protection of the floor or your shopping floor. I'm trying to look for opportunities how we could work with you.
Okay. Jeff, is it Jeff, is it?
Yes, it's Jeff.
Okay. You came through very soft. What I can do, so we've got a properties division, and we also own quite a few properties. So what I can do, I can put you in contact with the procurement manager looking after this. I'm not too sure exactly what your service capability is, but I can put you in contact with the procurement manager you can speak to directly.
Okay, I'll try to email you that. We've recently we've just got approved for ABSA contract. So our service levels have been, we've also trying to do work in the mine. So we have abilities and potential to do great work actually. Okay,
all right. Well, like I said, and I'm saying it to everybody, you have to be tenacious. So don't take the first answer of no as the final answer when it comes to Pick and Pay. Be tenacious and keep on pushing, because that's what we like in service providers as well.
That's a great lesson right there. This is an interesting question from Gail. She might have to elaborate a little bit. She's asking about recruitment processes, especially regarding people with disabilities. I don't know if she's referring to the means in which to allow people access with disabilities, or if she's asking about a business that's trying to do business and the business owner. Could you just clarify, Gail? Okay, I'm not sure Gail is still here, so let's just move on to the next question.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the gist as well on that one. So Gail, maybe...
No, I don't really understand what she's asking. I'm not sure if she's asking if it's about making your stores compatible in order to make people, make it easier, or if it's with a disabled supplier. I'm not sure.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Oh, there's Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Jody. Hi, Jason. My question is, do you hire people with disabilities, and B, what is the process?
Whoa, okay. It's not.
Hire them or source from them, Gail?
Actually, I do sourcing of people with disability because we're a recruitment company called TIE.
Oh, okay,
So
that
my
makes sense.
question
I understand.
Okay.
Oops, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Gail, yes, I understand your question now. Look, we do hire people with disabilities, and I think most companies have a mandate to do so. Okay. I think for us to, I'm trying to give you an answer which I need to first check with my HR colleagues on this. But the answer for now is yes, we do. How do you, I guess, provide or become a service provider for staff specifically with specific disabilities? You know, I can do is point you in the right direction. So you're welcome to make contact with me.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Gail. Okay,
Hello,
I'm going to ask the
Jason.
next few. Oh, okay, we've got who's speaking now?
It's me, Sibongile.
Sibongile. Hi, Sibongile.
Hello, Jason. We are Sibokali traders. We manufacture crispy chips from indigenous root like yams. So we know that Pick n Pay might be interested in buying, but we want to know the certification processes, like which ones? Do they want ISO 22 certified or in process, or the HACCP in process, or the one that is fully certified? Because we're currently implementing it, but we really want to know the certification they require to deal with food.
Okay, all right. So this is goods for resale. Your product is maize or potato-based crisps, am I right? Chips.
Yes, but not the potato itself, the African yams, like cocoa yam.
Okay, all right. It's quite interesting. So what I can do, okay? So what Pick n Pay has, we have regular opportunities for small service providers or SMMEs to come and present their products and services at our head office.
Yes.
Then we get all the buyers together, all the heads of the buying units, and they come and do a walkabout and inspection. If they do a tasting and like your product, I mean, they give the instruction to list your product, in effect. Where are you based?
Okay, we are in Durban.
Okay, all right. Look, I'll find out for you. It's not specifically my area, but I can find out for you. I do work fairly closely with the ESD department, and I do have contacts with the buyers. So make contact with me, and let's see if I can put you on the right track. I think HACCP is a definite requirement.
Yes.
I know it's expensive to have.
Yes, very.
It's expensive, but let's see. I speak out of turn, but let's see if we can get you the right information.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Can I go
next? Question. Yes, sure. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Tuki Zwanekile. I'm
Yes.
from a business called Indima Recruitment HR Consulting.
Hi.
The question that I have is I'd like to understand who would be the relevant person to speak to with regards to recruitment, 1. 2, management of IT contracts. Currently, we are managing plus minus 100 IT contractors for one of our clients who's in the retail space. And I'd like to really come and speak and present to someone with regards to that business model or service offering.
Okay. Very important sort of category for us, Pick n Pay. We utilize quite a lot of IT contractors. Where are you based?
I'm based in Cape Town.
Okay. My colleague looks after this category, and I will be able to put you in contact, and I can arrange a session with him.
Okay.
All right. So you will find my details on the Smart Procurement website. You can just pop me a note.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I've got
you,
a
Jody.
question here from Fairuz. She's from a tourism company based in Athlone, and they specialize in local tours. It seems she's asking on behalf of her community. She says she's got people in their community who have an array of items like headbands, buffs, readings, sunglasses, accessories, etc. They want to come and present those items. So I presume there's a category manager for that kind of sort of product.
Are these Feroz, are these considered clothing items?
Well, they would form part of it because they're like headbands, yeah, and buffs, as people that do cycling and that kind of thing, they use them, and people are using them as masks nowadays as well. And then, of course, reading glasses and sunglasses accessories. Okay,
so two different categories. Okay, so clothing, we've got quite an extensive, I mean, we've got 225 clothing stores now. On top of our corporate stores. Our clothing head office is based in Cape Town. So you're based in Cape Town.
That's right, yes.
I can put you in contact with the relevant buyer on those items. Sunglasses, I'll have to look for you in terms of who the buyer is. Tell me, sure. Make contact with me. I'll get you the right contacts. But the clothing items is definitely a separate category versus the sunglasses.
Okay, because the sunglasses are basically an accessory. You know, normally people have these beads hanging on the side of their faces. So we call it a purse-accessory. It's an accessory with a purpose. So it's basically like beads around your neck, but it's actually a form of purpose to hang your sunglasses on as well.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure the buyer would be interested. Let's see if we can put you in contact.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jason and Jody.
Okay, thank you. I hope we get to all the questions. We're probably going to have to take a couple more because we've got another session starting shortly, but let's just see what we can get through. Other than ERP software and various other software that would be pertinent to Pick n Pay, whom do we speak to about networks and telecoms, fiber, Ethernet options, that sort of thing? And is Pick n Pay only operational in South Africa? And then there's a second part to the question. What about emerging tech like Internet of Things, machine learning, robotics, etc.?
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. It's quite a loaded question.
Yeah, that is a very hectic question.
I guess, you know what, in its most rudimentary form, you can say that we're just middlemen. You know, we buy baked beans, we put it on a shelf, customer buys it, he's happy with it, he gives us money. Once we get our money, we pay the guy who supplied us with the baked beans. Quite simple. We are, if you get to know Pick n Pay a bit deeper, you'll find behind the scenes there's a massive technology support infrastructure. Okay, so that answers the question on the networking. Okay, so if you are a supplier in that field, we're happy to talk to you. Again, it's a very competitive environment, and typically IT contracts are very, very long, you know, from a life, what do they call it, life cycle perspective. So, but we're happy to talk. My colleague, JJ Vogel, he looks after IT, the IT environment in totality. But when I say look after that, that's from a procurement perspective. Behind the scenes, we've got a whole host of IT specialists and managers and heads of departments. So make contact. I'll put you in contact with JJ. He can take you through the networking scene. Pick n Pay, we are in quite a few countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So we're quite big in Zambia. We're in Zimbabwe. We are in Mozambique. We're in Namibia. We are in Ghana, we're in Nigeria. In a few of these countries, it's mostly joint ventures, but we are definitely in Africa quite extensively. If you look at our integrated report, you will see it lists nicely. And the integrated report is available to everybody on the internet. You can see all the countries where we operate, how much money, what our revenue is, also what the potentials are, and also the pitfalls that we've experienced. It's all nicely laid out for you in our integrated report. And the last, Internet of Things, we are very technologically developed at Pick n Pay. So if I give you an answer on Internet of Things, it will probably do it injustice to what we're doing at the moment. You'll have to speak to the expert, which is not me. I'll put you in contact with JJ Vogel, and yeah, you guys can have a discussion.
Fantastic. Wow, we've still got quite a bunch of questions lined up, and I'm really, really sorry, but we've got to wrap this session up now because we've got the next session that's about to start. Like I said, though, very, very beneficial to all of you to make sure that your profiles are fully complete, so that we can make sure that we match you. And Yasha is there for you, and she's got the contact details for Jason and can put you in touch after this session. So please don't be put out by the fact that we can't get to all the questions. Thank you so much, Jason, for giving of your time today. I see you also participated in the conference earlier. I hope you enjoyed that. So thank you for attending that. Literally given your whole day to Smart Procurement today, so yeah, that's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Nyasha, I'm going to hand over to you now to introduce the next buyer.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, everybody. You're welcome to contact me. I'll do my best to help you. Okay. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jason.
Bye, Jason.
Keep well. Bye-bye.